it's Kristen Redmond, and today we're going to go over the planetary aspects that are surrounding us and affecting us for this week, May 22nd through the 28th. And this week, all of our energy is centralized pretty much one day, and that's going to be on Thursday the 25th. This is a very important time for us because we have a very powerful supermoon, a new moon that is going to be happening in Gemini on Thursday evening. And a lot of other connections and aspects between our other planets that bring a lot of transformation through. And it all pings and pongs off of this new moon energy that initiates new beginnings. New beginnings that are started from some endings that came through in the full moon cycle 2 weeks ago. Endings from those cycles, of course, were initiated back in August of last year. And that was the time frame when we kind of realized, this is something I don't like anymore, and this is something I do want, and this is how I want it to change. We've had a lot of interesting little things bringing through on an astrological front through that time frame, helping us to get in touch with what our spirit says we need to do. And then 2 weeks ago, we had our Scorpio full moon that happened, and it helped us to focus, because the sun was in Taurus, on the tangible way to make these changes happen. Okay. Full moons in astrology represent endings. New moons represent the new beginnings that follow these endings. All right. And in astrology, the sun represents the outer self, how we direct ourselves, what we do in this world, how we get rocked and rolling, how we shine, right? It's our sun. And the moon, of course, is our inner self, the emotional self, the hidden self that we keep from the world, but it's all on an internal level. So at the time of the full moon, emotions run high because the outer self is in conflict, direct conflict with the inner self, and it creates a tension. And everybody feels it in the air, right? This past full moon cycle that happened 2 weeks ago, Taurus and Scorpio, had a lot to do with focusing on purging all of the things that we just no longer needed, right? Last August really brought that to the forefront. We've had some powerful eclipses since then, especially in February, that made it known, wow, this is something I really don't want, right? August made it known. February made some massive changes happen, and then now it comes around here. This full moon that happened a couple of weeks ago, very intense energy. Scorpio, that's where the moon was at when it was there. The sun, of course, being in Taurus. Taurus is reality. Scorpio is kind of focused on the metaphysical side and the spiritual side. So you got reality versus spirit. What do they want? Fight, 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 right? It's hard. Very difficult balance between those two, and it came to the forefront. Ruled by Pluto, that Scorpio is, and Pluto is like kind of like the dump truck, I guess you could call it, of the universe, and its main job is to bring transformation through in our lives. And it doesn't just remodel a house, right? What it does is it will knock that house down to build something new that works better for where your soul is at now. Maybe these things worked for you before, okay? Maybe it was a job. Maybe it was a relationship. We got a lot of those energies this year, very focused on relationship and with career. Maybe they worked at a time, okay? But maybe they just don't anymore, okay? This full moon created a very high tension, right? These are the changes that need to happen. Pluto that rules Scorpio says, I'm ready to take this. Let's not call it trash, because it's not really trash. It's just no longer needed, right? It's energy that you just don't need anymore. And it wants to bring something wonderful in its place, and that transformation in its place. So that all goes into that full moon. We dump it into that full moon. Off it goes. And here it goes to the new moon, right? And the new moon that happens this week in Gemini is focused on how we communicate what it is that we want to ourselves and to others, okay? And through that brings the new beginnings, okay? It's interesting because a new moon always follows, right? 2 weeks after a full moon, and it wants to bring that new beginning in. We're ready to let these things go, right? Now, the thing that happens with this particular moon is that it's a super moon. And in June, we have another super moon. We have 2 super moons in a row. And what makes these slightly different than your average full moon and new moon is that they carry an extra punch of energy. They will give an extra push if you are really ready to change things in your life. especially old habits, old patterns, old things that no longer work. Remember, because that was the Scorpio theme of the full moon that made it known to you what has to change. Are you taking terrible care of your body? Because that's very Taurus. That's where the sun was at. Are you taking terrible care of your finances and you want to change it? Do you need to move your home? Because that's a very Taurus-focused thing. Or is it Scorpio? Is it the deep relationships that you're in? Is it losses that you can't move past because you've encountered deaths that are impossible for you to move forward from? That moon wanted to end them. The trash truck wants to go. And with that, in this new moon comes new thoughts, new energy to the thought process. Gemini rules the third house, and Mercury also rules that sign of Gemini, all about the mind, the lower mind, and how we think. So this new moon is very focused on telling us all, your thoughts create your reality. I was reading something interesting a little bit ago about how thoughts are like a constant stream of energy that's above our head, and we choose which ones to grab onto. We choose which ones to latch onto. And in that process, the more energy that we give those thoughts, it manifests those thoughts into reality, okay? So if you're holding on to negative things that no longer serve you and that you're hoping to change and you're driving yourself crazy because you can't, there is a reason, right? And this new moon will help you to finally purge that if you need to, right? This is the moon where we focus on how we are communicating in general to ourselves and how we are communicating with others. All the things that we want, all the things that we need to change. So it's a very powerful moon. Not only do we have that happening, but Jupiter, the planet of luck, is behind it, making a very positive connection to this sun-moon conjunction, or new moon as it's called. And when Jupiter touches anything in a positive manner, it is going to bring luck. It's going to bring opportunities. So are you really ready to let go of some things? Jupiter is going to come through and make sure that something wonderful comes in its place. Jupiter is a planet of faith in the darkest of times. And that's exactly what a new moon is too, right? We look out there in the sky, and because the sun and the moon have aligned, we don't see a moon out there. It's a totally black sky in the nighttime sky. And we have to go on hope and faith in the darkness that everything is going to work out okay, right? Especially if we're purging some important things in our life. That's the time when we look up in there and see that there's nothing there and know that God will provide for us. God always does, right? And so Jupiter also represents that same amount of immense faith that in the darkest of the dark, wonderful things will come through. Because they will. They will, right? I wish I could promise everything would be easy, but it's just not, unfortunately. And all I want to say is that the underlying energy this year is Jupiter going through Libra. It's about balancing the scales in our lives in so many different ways. And it's about Leo eclipses this year, which are focused on our happiness in ways we haven't had in 8 to 10 years, and balancing the scales in ways that we haven't, especially in relationships, in 14 years, okay? It is the year of the heart and bringing happiness back into it. And that is what I can tell you from my guides and my heart, knowing that things will get better. I just can't tell you exactly how, right? Maybe if I looked at your chart, I could. You can always get a hold of me and I can look at that. But no matter what, this new moon has us all thinking and communicating that with ourselves and with others. So take advantage of that opportunity. Now, another thing, too, this kind of plays into that idea of relationship changes, because Jupiter going through Libra brings a lot of relationships into the focus, ones that are changing in wonderful ways and moving to new levels, or there's other ones that are ending completely. Cycles of 14 years, okay? A lot of that energy is focused this year. Now, this Thursday, as we've got all of this new energy wanting to bring through these new beginnings, let's say, okay, that you want to change your relationship. Let's say you want to end your relationship. And it's not just a love relationship. This can also be your relationship with money, or it can be your relationship with anybody where the harmony and balance is off. Those are all the things that Venus rules, Venus being in Libra, Jupiter is in Libra. They all go together. They want to balance those scales in these areas. Venus is making a very tough connection with Pluto, that planet that's the dump truck that wants to get rid of things we don't need anymore, the planet that transforms us. It's making a tough connection with it, though. As all of this energy is happening in the skies of the new moon for the new beginnings to come through, it reminds us exactly of what needs to be let go. In that time frame, because it's a negative connection, you may find that things do completely end, okay? Whether it's changing positively or negatively, you will see an impact in your financial or relationship status. Those things may occur at this week, okay? This is when the major changes and shifts happen in that area. Whether it be good or bad, it makes itself known, right? Because that's part of the new beginning process, okay? Now, because it's a tough aspect, Pluto, the shadow side of it, is a very possessive planet. It's a very jealous planet, okay? So those energies may also come out if conflicts are stirred up, okay? No matter what it is, though, okay, we're ending these habitual patterns that no longer serve us, okay? Because it's Pluto and it's this trash truck and it's trying to get rid of it. So know that that's working in there as well under this change and transformation if you are ready to let things shift and transform. But it's a tough one, right? It's going to make an interesting energy to the week. And at the end of the week, we have Saturn, the planet that is our the planner. It's the stabilizer. It's the one that wants to hold things to the ground, right? And then it's in a square with Mars. Mars, of course, is impulsive. So it's like our impulsive actions that want to get things new and going and changed, right? Because the sweet's bringing it up. And then Saturn is the one that wants to make sure we have a good plan before we act. So there's an energy that goes towards the end of the week, and it may also be very underlying for a lot of my Aries friends and Capricorn friends. Those are people that have sun, moon, or ascendant of their birth chart in Aries or Capricorn. You especially, but everybody, this week will be feeling that you've got one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake. A lot of frustration, a lot of disappointment, and a lot of anger because you want things to shift and they're not going to be happening just the way you need just yet. This week makes it a little bit tough going into next week as well with that opposition. This hasn't happened in 2 years and it won't happen again for 2 years. So expect some sort of delay in getting these ball rolling as fast as you want to. But know that the universe is holding you back for a reason. I always call Capricorn and Saturn, its ruling planet, like the Brussels sprouts of the universe. Like they're the vegetables that we get force fed that we don't want. But it helps us to grow. It helps us to change. And it's exactly what we need. Even though we don't want to eat the dang things, right? It brings us wonderful, healthy bodies in the end. So this week we got some Brussels sprouts, right? It goes into next week as well, too. So just know that with all these energies, no matter what it is, Saturn wants to bring some good, solid, stable footing to it. So it's rocking and rolling into the next week. So what an awesome, powerful super moon we got coming up. Be sure to take advantage of that. Let's see what angel is going to be working with us this week, what energy is working with us, and then we'll do the reading and pull it all together. So, super moon and Gemini, who is working with us this week? Let's see. I kind of knew that was going to happen, too. Well, that's okay. Thank you. All right. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. I am so terrible. Okay. Well, hey, look who jumped out, and I'm going to take that as a sign. Oh, I kind of broke one of my stones, too. Woo. That's what happens when you hang it right off the edge, right? Ooh. Okay. That's one thing to keep in mind, too, as the Saturn and thing happens with Mars. Mars is very impulsive, and as it feels restricted, accidents might happen. So, just saying. We've got a little bit of astrology in action here. So, I'm going to take this as a sign because it's the only stone that survived the fall, and it is Archangel Uriel. Archangel Uriel is the angel of Aquarian energy. And he is the one that is known as the psychologist angel. He's the one that removes toxic thoughts, stubborn unforgiveness from our mindset. He clears the mind so we can think thoroughly and clearly and receive brilliant flashes of insight as to how to change things. Of course, this week, like we said, this is a new moon of our thoughts creating a reality. What better archangel to have on your side to help cleanse and clear as you go into this new moon, to put and purge your thoughts of new beginnings into than him. Call on him. He will help. He will help you to release all of those things that just don't work. Wow, that freaked me out, man. I got stones all over my kitchen floor. No worries. No worries. I am a Capricorn ascendant, so perhaps maybe the energy is starting even sooner than I anticipated, right, for that Mars accidental thing. Okay, so let's see. What does Archangel Uriel need us to know this week? He comes in a brilliant yellow, golden yellow color is what he is. So if you see little flashes of that, know that it's him. He brings you these amazing thoughts out of nowhere. He's an angel that it's like sometimes you're like, where did that thought come from? It's Archangel Uriel that brings it through. So, what you got to tell us this week, Uriel? One more. Aha! Oh, and how cool is this card to have? We have Archangel Michael here, actually, and he's the angel of our life purpose. He guides us on our path. And this card is awesome, the world, because it exemplifies the ending of a journey. We've reached the very end, and we should be proud of ourselves because it's like we're at graduation time. And we're moving to that next phase, right? I'm going to read you what it says. A job well done. Joy, contentment, and gratitude, and a path towards enlightenment. Okay, this is where we're going, and this is where we're moving, and he's got the 4 directions around him, guiding us to the right path. The compass that helps guide us to the right path. Okay, card is very indicating that we have completed some cycles, for sure, and we're getting ready to move on to the next one. Of course, Archangel Uriel is going to be there to help relieve any toxic energies, and also Michael as well. Both of the angels work in tandem as well, that if we're severing ties with people, places, companies, whatever it is, when you're leaving something behind and you sever a relationship of any kind, we have these cords that are still attached to these people because we give and receive that energy so much. When those cords are cut, if we don't ask for the healing, we still kind of connect with these people regardless, right? Even if they're gone and even if they're bad for us, they still can pull our energy as we can with them. So we call on these angels, Uriel and Michael, to cut the cord. Michael cuts that cord because he knows where our soul needs to go, leads us where we need to go in the direction we need to be. Uriel heals that up and removes all of the toxic hurt and anger and resentment and sadness, and he fills it with new things. Heals those cords, they come back into you, theirs goes back into them, and you can go along into your path. So that is a beautiful message to have with that new moon. And let's just get a little bit more insight really fast. What else I gotta say? As we get moving and rocking and rolling into these awesome new changes. A lot of it's relationship, I feel. Wow. But even if we got other ones too, I feel like somebody's watching that's got some work stuff going on. And you, my friend, may be an Aquarius too, because Archangel Uriel is your angel. So I'm going to do this 2 more times. See what he's got to say. Service. And that's interesting too, because remember I was just saying that this has to do something with work, right? So definitely there are some endings and changes that are happening for somebody that is working their career, their service to this world. Whatever it is that may be shifting and changing, and they're telling you that you've done a wonderful job. Okay, I know a couple of clients especially that I've done readings for where the cards indicated that May 25th would bring through some massive changes in regards to their shifting career for their lifetime, and I feel perhaps this reading is geared towards you, so I hope you're watching that. But for the remainder of us, this card reminds us that we are always to be of service to others, right? And in those times when we feel lost, when we feel those emotions getting the best of us, when we feel there's nothing that we can do, as we sit and we wait in that darkness of the sky for the good things to come through, always give more to somebody else, right? Be a listening ear. Bring them some soup. Get them a cookie at Quiznos when you're there. Or, you know, some apple slices from Panera or something. I don't know, whatever it is. Give a little bit of your heart center this week as you wait, because that will be returned in wonderful ways as well. But everybody, I want you to know this super moon is behind you. We have another one following in June, bringing through major changes that are going to be lasting not just for this week, but the effects last for years to come. So everybody keep that in mind and have a wonderful week. Thank you for watching. Bye.